Hey everybody, Ben here for the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Blood Bowl 7's Lizardmen. So we're looking at all the teams available in Blood Bowl 2020, whether they're from the rulebook, the Teams of Legend PDF, or the NAF expanded teams, and we're putting together some of our favourite 7s rosters for you. Blood Bowl 7s is a quick play variant of Blood Bowl played on a smaller pitch with smaller teams in a much smaller time frame. Basically, you can get a game done in about 40 to 45 minutes, and it is hands down my favourite way to play Blood Bowl. You can just get so many games in with so many different teams. It's a fantastic way to play. If you want to know more about 7s, check out our intro video to 7s, or watch one of our 2 seasons of 7 Super Series, which is just full-on gameplay of 7s. It's with the old rules, but you'll get a really good idea of how 7s plays out. Anyway, on to the lists. Strengths and weaknesses of Lizardmen. So Lizardmen are tier 1. They are one of the best, if not the best, Blood Bowl team out there for 11s. But 7s is a little bit different. You can only have 4 players on your team that are not linemen. So when it comes to Lizardmen, that means that a reasonable chunk of your team is going to be made up of skinks. That is a very good thing. Skinks are movement 8, dodge, stunty, and have agility 3+. That means they're running through tackle zones on a 3++, okay, 3+ with a reroll. That is your downside, okay, that's the low bar here. And in 7s, there's no line of scrimmage. You start 6 squares apart, so there's no line of slaughter, which means that having those weak guys is not bad, especially when they are fast and agile like these guys are. So that's your low bar there. The bad side of Lizardmen is that you've got skinks. Maybe why they're tier 1. So they're also backed up with an absolute ton of strength. So Croxagores are fantastic. Movement 6, strength 5, mighty blow. They've got Bonehead, that's their downside, which is of all of the nega traits, it's the best one basically. Every time you're rolling a 1, it's bad. Otherwise, you can do whatever you like. So you can have a cheeky big guy blitz with a Croxagore on a 2+, and they've got prehensile tails, so if you do want to tag a player and not risk the blitz, you can just wander your Crocs over, and now they're going to be -1 to dodge away as well, which is a fantastically useful thing. These guys are also running Sauruses, who are strength 4, movement 6 players. Now the downside of this team is the agility split here, so Croxagores and Sauruses are only agility 5+, which means they are not doing anything, they're not dodging very well, and they're certainly not handling the ball very well. But a 5+ is still, you can still have a chance. The real key there is that they are movement 6 and strength 4, which means you can blitz right from the outset of the game, which is a massive boon here. So the other downsides of the Lizardmen team is 140k for rerolls. Rerolls are doubled in 7s, so that means that mixed with kind of relatively expensive players, even the lineman being 60k, it means they get a little. You're going to struggle to get a reroll in there, and no sure hands and no combat skills means that every skill this team gets is going to be really important. And as they're tier 1, you're only likely to get 2 or 3 skills at best, and they're all likely to be primaries. So you're not going to be able to sneak in a leader reroll there. But like I said at the beginning, the downside here is those agility 3+, movement 8, stunty, dodge, ag 3+ players. It's just awesome. Okay, first roster we've got for you is the max strength build. This one comes in at 575, which gives you 20k to buy assistant coaches. So that will hopefully give you a good shot at getting a reroll on one of the kickoff results. Anyway, this roster is running 1 Croxagore, 3 Sauruses, and 3 Skinks as well. So no rerolls, no fancy stuff, but what you end up with are 3 of those movement 8 dodge players, 3 strength 4 movement 6 players, and 1 movement 6 strength 5 mighty blow player. So this is an absolute brawl of a team. Okay, we've got max strength here for a reason, because this is the most strength you can run in this team, and I think you're going to be hard pressed to find very many teams that are going to end up with a stronger kind of combat contingent than this team here. Downside is that the agility here on 4 of your players is of no use at all, basically. But the fact is, you've got 3 skinks, and those 3 skinks are going to have plenty of movement and plenty of agility to actually do what you need them to do. As far as kind of like a 2-1 grind kind of build goes, you've got a ton of opportunity here with fast scoring with those skinks, and on defense you're going to be able to play real well. 7's pitch is 11 squares wide. You can spread those Sauruses out, have the Croxagore kind of in reserve, and your opponent is going to have to come through to you, and that should most of the time give you essentially the kind of first attack, and honestly, attacking with Saurus or a Croxagore is basically going to guarantee you a 2-die block. So whether you are offense here with 3 movement 8 skinks or defense with 3 strength 4 and 1 strength 5 piece, you are going to be in the running here with this team. But say you don't want to run the risk of Bonehead on the Croxagore, you can adjust the list ever so slightly. So we've got the 4-4 build here for you now. This coming in at 580. Again, 2 assistant coaches is going to give you a shot at that reroll on the kickoff table. 4 Sauruses and 4 Skinks. So what does this give you over the Croxagore build? Okay, you're taking a bit of a hit. You don't have Mighty Blow and you don't have Strength 5. But you've replaced that with a Strength 4 piece and another Skink. So that gives you the flexibility here to run 4 Saurus on defense and 4 Skinks on offense if you want, and you do have a bench, because as great as Skinks are, they are Strength 2 and they are stunty and they are Armor 8+, so they are prone to, you know, death. So you're going to end up with 7 players if one of you guys goes down, which is sweet, and if they don't, it does give you that flexibility. Okay, do I want to have 4 agility players to maximize my chance of getting that 2-turn score, or do I just want to stack the line with 4 Saurus? Now this is going to be a really tough team to wander through, because those Sauruses, while they're not as strong as the Croxagore, are more reliable. So whether you're on offense or defense, as bland as this roster looks, you have got a really great opportunity to kind of choose your poison here, whether you're going to go heavy on strength with 3 of the best stunty players out there, I reckon. It's this roster is going to do really, really well, I think. If you're playing a 5-game tournament, this roster is going to give you the potential to win. I think you're probably going 4-1 here. I think this is a solid build. But now let's change it up ever so slightly. So we've got the KSS Apo build here. This one comes in exactly at 600, so no assistant coaches for you. 1 Croxagore, 2 Sauruses, 4 Skinks brings you out to 7 players, and 1 Apothecary. So you can't quite afford an extra Skink. You can't quite afford that bench, but the Apothecary is going to do a great job pretending to do that. And most importantly, if your Croxagore goes down, or one of your Sauruses, that Apothecary is going to get that player back on the ground. So you've got 4 of those movement 8 pieces with dodge, you've got 2 solid blockers there and 1 big guy, and that Apo is going to keep them all alive all the time. It's a difficult one to determine whether or not you want to run the 1 Croxagore 2 Saurus build or the 1 Croxagore 3 Saurus build. That Apothecary is going to mean your Croxagore is going to stay alive, but you start out with lower strength. It's down to you, but it does give you kind of an option here. And we've got to have at least 1 stunty roster. Okay, so we've got K stunty here, 580. Again, 2 assistant coaches, please. 1 Croxagore, 5 Skinks, and 2 Chameleons. So you actually get 8 players here. So you've got a bench, and you've got a Croxagore. So you're missing the Sauruses, but this team here is an offensive nightmare. So Chameleons are awesome. They are only movement 7. So when you're looking at the standard skink and you go movement 8 is lovely, movement 7 is really not bad, guys. It's still a 2-turn touchdown without go for it. Just talk to a bunch of other teams and see how they feel about that. That is guaranteed, which is awesome, and the fact that they've got on the ball means that when you are receiving, these guys essentially have movement 10. Now they can't cross the line of scrimmage, but it means they're going to be able to maneuver, and where you've got 2 of them, you will be able to cover the entirety of your backfield and just put yourself in a really good spot to get that kick. They've also got passing 3+, and I think that's a strength here that you don't necessarily consider. So 5 Skinks, 2 Chameleons, 1 Croxagore. You've got 1 Skink on the bench. Chameleons here with that cheeky 3+ quick pass means that they've got potentially 7 squares of movement and then another 3 squares of a cheeky 3+ pass. So you've got enough Skinks here to just chuck them deep, and then with that 7 squares of movement from the Chameleon, you are going to be able to find a way to get that ball to one of them. 7 squares, 3 squares for a quick pass on a 3+. Risky, but that is a massive, massive stretch play window of 18 squares. So you can just chill out in your side, send your Skinks forward, move that Chameleon up, and you are going to get that touchdown. Or you can swap the Croxagore for a reroll. The downside is you don't have a Croxagore. The upside is you do have a reroll. So everything we just talked around when it came to Skinks and their speed and their ability to score absolutely doubles down in this roster. You get 1 reroll to help pull it off, and you've got 7 players. This is probably the weakest roster that we've looked at, but you know, you can't not do it when you've got potential for a full stunty roster. If you want to go full stunty, big guys don't count, so you can take the previous build. But if you want a bit more consistency, having that cheeky reroll is going to help you out, I suppose. But I think this roster would be my pick. Now, I think that technically the right choice is the 4-4. Okay, 4 Sauruses, 4 Skinks. You've got a bench and nobody's got a nega trait. But come on, it's a Kroxigor. The Kroxigor is one of the best big guys in the game, and it's backed up with 3 Sauruses here and 3 Skinks. You are limited, you are a little bit vulnerable, you do suffer if you lose a player. But if your Kroxigor drops out, you've still got 3 Saurus. If you lose a Saurus, you've still got a Crox and 2. And if you lose a Skink, you've still got 2 more. And a really, really solid cage, come on guys, here, to protect the ball carrier. You don't cage up in the kind of traditional sense in 7s, but if you want to, with these guys, that Skink movement of 8 and the stunty dodge ability is going to mean they're going to be able to run through anything. So all you have to kind of do is build a little bunker in the middle of the pitch here with the Crox and the Saurus, and that Skink is going to run through, maybe with 1, maybe with 2 cheeky 3++ dodge rolls. But man, this is going to be really tough to score against. I think those 3 Sauruses are going to be able to take 1 or 2 players on a piece, and that Kroxigor is going to be able to punch to death whoever he wants. And when the ball comes out, or if you really need to go for the cheeky stunty dodge into a cage blitz, you've got Skinks there to do it with. I do love lizards, and I love them in 7s. I don't think they are quite as good in 7s as they are in 11s, because you don't have the line of slaughter. With standard 11s, Lizardmen, you've got that opening block of potentially 7 players, then followed up by that stunty dodge. You don't get that in 7s, so you kind of have to work with it. But the movement here on the big guys, the movement here on the blockers is just going to massively support those Skinks. So I really like this team in 7s. It's not an auto win, and I think, generally speaking, you're going to win 4 matches out of every 5 with your 7s team. Somebody's going to beat you, someone's going to win. The vulnerability is obviously those 3 Skinks. If they can take out 3 Skinks, you basically can't play. But that's going to be a lot of work to do in 7s. I think we might have found another team that we have to put into 7 Super Series here. We don't have a tier 1 team yet. Might have to be the Lizards. Anyway guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of Lizardmen in 7s and which roster you would take. I like this one. I do think the 4-4 is probably better, but hey, big guy blitz. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the show even further, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Or come and join us in our Patreon, link below, where you get early access to our content and monthly competitions. See you later.